for example, I was using GPT 5.5. It actually requested one from Claude Opus 4.8. All models have blind spots, and the power of the Copilot multi-model approach means that I can catch them earlier. And this is all very cool, but working with AI in 2026 should be more than just chat. You just saw me scrolling that. There's so many words here. So today, I'm very excited to show you the concept of a canvas. I'm going to open one right there. The canvas is how an agent can build a custom UI to communicate with you. What if your AI could see? Everyone say, demo gods, bless us. Okay, let's see if it works. Here is a fun canvas where, if I get the camera going, okay, the agent shows your PRs down here, and I can toggle it with a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Let's approve it. Hey, it's so fun. And they could go so much deeper if you want. This is just the beginning of what you can do. So again, I kicked off a bunch of different sessions earlier. This is a Signal Box app. It's 100% agent built. It's containerized with a database backend. Would you be able to deploy this to your enterprise with no questions asked? Be honest. No, yes, exactly, no. But you can with Rayfin. And that is very, very exciting. Let me open up a new terminal over here. All I have to do is type Rayfin up. And then, demo gods bless us, come on. It will maybe deploy. Blammo, it's happening, yes! And all hosted on Microsoft Fabric. Okay, I know that's a lot, With Rayfin, your agents get a complete enterprise backend, so you can deploy with confidence in the way that's best for you. But this is the key thing to remember. This app is not just another session manager. Yes, it is. It manages a lot of sessions, but session managers just make it easy to create work. But GitHub Copilot helps you to finish it. Thank you so much. Happy Pride. Back to you, Satya.
All right. Now we're back to IDEs that have UI. That's sort of so cool. You know, it sort of comes a full circle. Now let's talk about how you can observe, govern, and secure these agents. Agent 365 is the agent control plane. Agent requires their own identities, access controls, even when they're working on your behalf, right? You just want that work on behalf identity to be enforced. So we extended Entra. Agents need real-time defense, so we extended Defender. Agents require this always-on data protections and compliance, so we extended Purview. And these agents can be hosted anywhere. They can be on AWS, GCP, not just on Azure, or built with any framework. And today we're announcing a number of updates, including the GA of Agent 365 SDK, and we're expanding it to your local agents running on Windows and elsewhere, and the clause you just saw earlier. And let us take a look at how all of Agent 365 composes. Over to you, Amanda.
Everyone is building agents, but that's not the hard part anymore. The hard part is integrating them into your business and governing them at scale. Today, I'll show you how Foundry makes this easy. Let's start locally. I've already built a LangGraph agent, and now I'll show you the value Foundry adds. First, tools. Agents need tools to get work done, and with Foundry Toolbox, I just add my tools once, and any agent can consume them through a single MCP endpoint. And because tools live centrally, that means governance does as well. I've applied a guardrail which blocks PII from leaking into tool calls and tool responses, and all I have to do is apply this once, and all my agents are protected. Now, let's make this agent enterprise ready. To deploy this agent to Foundry, all I have to do is add this one block of code, and then I push my changes, and GitHub Actions takes it from there. Once deployed, I can actually use this agent in the same Foundry extension I showed you earlier, and let's now test it out. I'm asking it to track a few open items from a stand-up I had earlier today, and what's actually happening right now is Foundry is spinning up a dedicated micro VM just for this session. And the session even gets its own persistent file system. What you're going to see in a minute here is if I go to the Files tab to track the open items, the agent's actually writing to a file. Pretty cool, right? Plus, Foundry now has server-side traces and built-in evals to show me exactly what happened on every run. But how do I know if my agent's doing a good job? That's what Foundry's brand new rubric evaluators are for. It's super simple. With just one AZD command, Foundry reads my agent and then generates the evaluation criteria for me. In other words, it creates a rubric personalized just to this agent. Now let's check out this rubric in Foundry Portal. Look at these dimensions. Governance outcome correctness, prescribed source usage. I didn't write any of these. Foundry generated them from production traces. And with this rubric, I can score my agent and run evals, but we can do so much more than that. That's where Foundry's brand new agent optimizer takes over. Here's how it works. It tunes 4 things: the model, instructions, tool descriptions, and skills. And then it generates improved candidates and scores each one using the rubric I just showed you. Here, I can view the candidates, I can see the strategy used, I can see their scores, and I can actually view exactly what changed. This candidate, for example, improved its score by updating the model and the system prompt. Foundry then makes it super easy to deploy the best candidate as a brand new agent version. But this is not a one-time thing. Every run feeds the next eval, and every eval tells the optimizer where to improve next. So your agents now get better the more they're used. But now, let's put this agent to work. I've published my agent to Teams and M365 Copilot, and right now I'm gonna ask it to just catch me up on what I've missed, because I've been offline all morning, but my agent hasn't. While it works on that though, let me explain what makes this agent different. This is an autopilot agent, which means it has its own identity and productivity license, so it can work across M365 on its own behalf. Earlier, you saw me using this agent by myself, but shipping a feature in a new release takes a whole team, and that's why this agent lives in our team's group chat. Now let's check out how it did. It summarized all updates and called out the key features I need to be tracking. But to put an agent like this actually to work in your enterprise, governance needs to come first. And that's why every autopilot agent requires admin approval. Here, admins can review all critical details, and they can even choose who has the ability to talk to the agent. But it doesn't end there. Even after approval, admins can continue to monitor the agent and block it at any time. But governance cannot apply to just one agent. Every agent in your organization needs to be managed with the same rigor as users, apps, and devices. And that's exactly what Microsoft Agent 365 provides. So let's zoom out. Today we saw Foundry accelerate development, take your agent from local to enterprise ready, and put it to work in M365. Foundry makes it simple. You build the agent, we handle the rest. Now back to you, Satya.
Thank you, Amanda. You know, what you just saw was how we're building security for AI. But there is also one other critical aspect, especially, the news today is all about, how do you defend yourself using AI against attacks that may, in fact, be using AI, right? So last month, we announced our multi-model agentic security system, M-Dash. That's essentially an agent harness for security, essentially, that we built. We're bringing together 100 agents across the frontier and custom models to really find these exploitable bugs better than any single model does. In fact, when we debuted this harness, it was on the top of Cyber Gym benchmark. So I want you to take a look at what you can do with M-Dash to really defend against AI attacks and defend the entire digital estate. Over to you, Sarah. Models to really find these exploitable bugs better than any single model does. In fact, when we debuted this harness, it was on the top
we all know
of
that
Cyber
security
Gym
scans can take a
benchmark.
while, so
I want you
I'm not
to
going to
take a
do one
look
live.
at
So let me show you the results of an M-Dash scan I already ran on my code base. Now, the system runs as a standalone CLI, but today I'm using it in my GitHub Copilot app on my local dev machine. The scan is broken down by vulnerability domains and severity. And it's also, an additional to finding traditional issues like coding errors and hard-coded secrets, it's also identifying AI-specific vulnerabilities in the code base. Now, what happened under the hood is that over 100 specialized agents are working together to discover, debate, and prove exploitable vulnerabilities end-to-end. And when the scan finishes, it generates both a Sarif log and where it is in my code and the severity to help me prioritize. And from here, of course, we're going to fix it. Now, using the defender fix command, the system will remediate suggested fixes directly in my local dev environment. And when that's done, I can check out the diff. So I have full transparency about what the harness has done, and I still have a human-in-the-loop check. But, of course, everything I've shown you so far has run locally, but I can also create a PR to plug into my existing workflows and push up to my repo, and I can take the Sarif output from the scan, and I can upload it to tools like GitHub Advanced Security and manage everything alongside my other application security findings. Now, I've shown you M-Dash working on my code, but let me show you a vulnerability our security research teams identified using M-Dash that you can go and look up yourself. So the TLDR, because this is a lot to read, of this bug is that WASM time reads an out-of-date map of an object, runs off the end, and then it crashes the host. So this is exactly the kind of bug that the harness was built for.